Sa panahon ngayon, ano ang alagang Pilipino? Ito ay alagang hindi makasarili. Alagang laging gumagawa ng paraan. Alagang nagkakaisa para sa bawat isa. Alagang handa sa anumang hamon. Alagang ramdam kahit saan ka man. Alagang maaasahan. Alagang nagbibigay ng solusyon at mga ngiti. Alagang busog sa pagmamahal. Yan ang alagang Pilipino. Alagang may husay at malasakit. Alagang nagbabayanihan. Nakikiisa ang Unilab sa lahat ng Pilipinong walang sawang nagbibigay ng alaga para sa kalusugan ng bayan. Alagang tunay, alagang Pilipino.
Ang tiwala hindi basta-basta na ibibigay. Nagtitiwala lang ako kapag kilala ko na ng lubos. Ganyan din sa gamot. Hindi ko iinumin ang gamot kapag hindi ko ito subok. Kapag bibili ng gamot, doon ako sa binigyan ko ng tiwalang inumin. Kaya pag kailangan ng gamot, huwag mahihiyang magtanong.
Kung may right med ba nito? Kung may right med ba nito?
Kahit malupit ang biyahe ng buhay, di natitinag, dire-diretso lang. Kahit nadapan at nasaktan, tatayo ka lang, lalaban yan. Laban lang, sige lang, laban lang, sugod lang, lalaban para sa kinabukasan. Sugod lang, ganyan tayong dugong palaban. Laban lang, aray pero di bibigay. Laban lang, sige lang, laban lang, sugod lang, lalaban para sa kinabukasan. Laban lang, sige lang, laban lang, sugod lang, lalaban para
kapag nahanap mo na, yung lagi kang iingatan, at lagi kang aalagaan, yun ang for keeps.
Unilab yan.
Alam nila ang halaga ng vitamin E. Pero maganda rin kung makaiwas sa sakit. Phorexx E helps boost immunity. Magandang panlaban sa sakit. Take Phorexx E daily.
Madalas malungkot, masungit, baka KSB, kulang sa B vitamins. Fortiplex is a vitamin B complex with not just 3 but 5 B vitamins to help maintain emotional health among seniors. Fortiplex.
Sa kids namin, hands-on kami ni Dong.
We want to do everything right.
Pero kahit mukhang healthy, ang immunity nila di laging mataas.
Mababa yan.
Pwedeng magkasakit. Going fully loaded ang immunity. Mag-Selene Plus.
Araw-araw, walang mintis.
May stable combination ng vitamin C at zinc para buo ang proteksyon against sickness.
Kaya si Tia, laging fully loaded ang immunity.
We only trust Selene Plus.
Kayo na rin.
Alagang Unilab yan.
Anxiety and depression are two of the most common psychological disorders. So frequent, so forceful, that it begins to take over the life of a person who has it. These are the conditions that often enslave patients who silently suffer from it. As the CNS division of Unilab, Medicam gives you the aid in achieving victory over these debilitating mental problems. Escitalopram Jovia, your victory over anxiety and depression. Its bioequivalence with the Innovator brand, while keeping the price more affordable at 62% savings. Promote victory over patient treatment compliance. And because Medicam's mission is not just to help achieve a healthier state of mind and body, but also enable individuals with renewed hope and restored self-esteem. Anxiety and depression may be a disabling condition that adversely affects a person's life. But with Escitalopram Jovia, victory over these mental conditions are achievable, leading patients towards a jovial life. Escitalopram Jovia, your victory over anxiety and depression.
Anak, bumili ka ng mga to. Pagkasahin mo sa 100, ha? Sobra.
Eh kung kalahating asukal, isang toyo, isang ketchup, at isang sabon. Sakto!
Talinong Nutriplex. Bilis ng pick-up.
Unilab yan.
Salamat sa tamang alaga mo. Araw-araw akong handa para sa mundo. Salamat sa tamang alaga mo. Damang-dama ko na mahal mo ako.
Kasama ang RightMed, araw-araw nating bigyan ng tamang alaga ang ating mga alaga.
Sa panahon ngayon, ano ang alagang Pilipino? Ito ay alagang hindi makasarili. Alagang laging gumagawa ng paraan. Alagang nagkakaisa para sa bawat isa. Alagang handa sa anumang hamon. Alagang ramdam kahit saan ka man. Alagang maaasahan. Alagang nagbibigay ng solusyon at mga ngiti. Alagang busog sa pagmamahal. Yan ang alagang Pilipino. Alagang may husay at malasakit. Alagang nagbabayanihan. Nakikiisa ang Unilab sa lahat ng Pilipinong walang sawang nagbibigay ng alaga para sa kalusugan ng bayan. Alagang tunay, alagang Pilipino.
Good afternoon po sa inyong lahat, mga minamahal naming ka-AKAP Guro at sa ating mga ibang kaibigan na sinasamahan tayo ngayon sa ating live Facebook streaming sa Unilab Facebook page. Ako po si She Maala, ang inyong magiging host for today in this webinar that will talk about mental health and psychosocial support. And this is brought to you by Unilab, RightMed, Tamang Alaga, and Alaga sa Kalusugan ng Pamayanan Program or AKAP. ng Philippine Educational Theater Association or PETA and Visayan Youth Matters. And today's session is also made possible by Medicam, Unilab's Division for Mental Health. Kasama din po nating nagpapaabot sa lahat ng webinar na ito ang Now You Know FB page. Alam niyo po, noong mga nakaraang series ng AKAP Guro Connected ay marami tayong natutunan tungkol sa COVID-19. In fact, marami po sa inyo ang nagpaabot ng pasasalamat at mga ilan pang katanungan tungkol sa kung paano pa natin mabibigyan ng proteksyon ang ating mga sarili, ang ating mga estudyante at ang ating mga pamilya laban sa COVID-19. At ngayon naman, bilang isa ninyong kapwa guro at isa ding artist mula sa PETA, ay masasabi ko po na ang usaping mental health ay isa sa mga madalas na lumalabas na most respected topic sa umpukan ng mga guro, pamilya, at kahit na nga rin po sa mga kabataan. At kahit po sa amin sa PETA ay isa ito sa aming advocacy. Lalo na po siguro ngayon na tayo ay nasa panahon ng krisis kung saan ang ating pang-araw-araw na buhay. So imagine ninyo, biglang nagulantang, no? Hindi lang ang buong bansa, kung hindi ang buong mundo sa biglang maraming bawal. Nakagawa pa nga ng kanta dyan si Kim Chu, di ba? Yung bawal lumabas. Kasi sinasabi rin yung bawal ang tabi-tabi, bawal yung dikit-dikit, beso-beso, bawal bumahing at umubo ng walang pantakip sa bibig. Bawal kumain sa labas. Naku, paborito natin yan. Bawal magsimba. Bawal bumisita at bawal ding magkaroon ng bisita at pati na rin yung mga kabuhayan natin, no, ay apektado. Kaya nga ngayon, kayong mga guro ay may malaking adjustment sa pagbubukas ng klase. Kaya samahan po ninyo ako at ang ating mga guests ngayong hapon na ito sa talakayan ng AKAP Guro Connected sa usapin ng mental health at psychosocial support. Take note ha, dito po hindi po bawal ang magtanong. Dito sa AKAP Guro Connected, bawal ang mahiyang magtanong. Huwag mahihiyang magtanong, guys. Kaya naman po, please feel free to send questions sa ating Q&A box. Makikita po ninyo sa ibaba ng inyong Zoom. At mamaya po ay sasagutin ng ilan sa inyong mga katanungan. Para po sa mga nasa FB Live, nakikita po namin ang inyong mga tanong sa mga comment section. So, isulat nyo lang po ng isulat dyan. Huwag po ninyong huwag niyo pong kalimutan, no, na gamitin yung ating hashtag na #AKAPGuro kapag tayo po ay magpo-post sa ating mga social media accounts. Alright, and here to join me now is the program lead of AKAP Guro to tell you more about what's in store for us this afternoon.
Hello, Michelle. Salamat sa iyong introduction. At good afternoon, teachers. Hello, Michelle.
Yes po, go ahead, Sir Rex.
Yes, isa na naman pong hapon na puno ng aral at kasayahan dito sa AKAP Guro Connected. Punong-puno po ang ating Zoom webinar at para po dun sa mga hindi namin nakasama sa Zoom, open na open po ang aming live stream sa Unilab FB page. Kasama rin po ang Now You Know FB page. Just keep the comments coming dahil alam po namin na magiging makabuluhan ang ating talakayan ngayong hapon na ito. Ngayon po ay pagtutuunan natin ng pansin ang mental health at psychosocial support. Katulad po ng mga nakaraan nating Zoom webinars, kasama pa rin po natin ang ating advisory council na sina Dr. Matina Alberto. Hi, Dr. Tina.
Magandang tanghali po sa ating lahat.
Magandang tanghali po. Kasama din po natin si Dr. Maria Delta Aguilar na nasa Davao. Maayong hapon, Dr. Delta. And we also have Dr. Jamie Garcia. Hi, Doc Jemmy. Kasama rin po natin ang ating beloved doctor from Cebu, Dr. Bel Ranile.
Hello po. Good afternoon sa mga sa lahat.
Mayong hapon, Doc Bel. And also we have our doctor from Baguio City, Dr. Elizabeth Gallardo. Kumusta, Doc Liz?
Hello. Good afternoon po, Sir Rex. And good afternoon po sa ating lahat.
Ayun, napakalambing talaga ng boses ni Doc Liz. And of course, our trending doctor nung ating last webinar, si Dr. Maria Angela Nicole Espereras. Doc Nicole. Ayan, mukhang busy-busy rin ang ating mga doctor sa kanilang mga trabaho, but of course hindi po nila tayo iiwan upang patuloy tayong gabayan, lalo na at mayroon po tayong mga bagong pag-uusapan. Kagaya po nung sinabi ni Ms. Shekang na ang mental health at psychosocial support ang lumabas na most requested topic natin. Totoo po ba yon? Yung mga nasa Facebook dyan, totoo po ba na support? Nako, alam po namin na kailangan natin ito. Kaya po, sinimulan natin ang ating usapan tungkol sa mental health mula kay Teacher Merl Angela Nagrampa. Si Teacher Angel po ay isang research coordinator at teacher librarian ng Kulyat Elementary School sa Quezon City. Isa rin po siyang miyembro ng AKAP Guro sa mga teachers na katulad nyo. Sa pagbubukas po ng klase sa Agosto, malalaman po natin ano ba ang saloobin ni Teacher Angel. So ngayon po, pakinggan po natin ang salaysay ng ating kapaguro na si Teacher Angel.
Hello.
Mukhang madamdamin ang gagawin ni Teacher Angel na pagsasalaysay, ano? Teacher Angel, andyan na po ba kayo?
Yes, Teacher Angel, magandang hapon po. Yes, paki-unmute lang po and stop yung video po ninyo.
Palagay ko excited na yung
nga,
ibang
Sir
mga
Rex.
guro. Ano, Miss She?
Nagkaroon po ng konting problema.
Alright,
po.
sige po.
Magandang hapon po sa lahat, lalo na sa mga kapwa ko guro. Kumusta po kayo lahat? Alam ko, sa panahon na to ng sa tinatawag na new normal schooling, marami po tayong fears, maraming concerns and anxieties. Alam ko po dahil ako mismo nararamdaman ko ang mga bagay na to. Sobra po akong nalulungkot kung pag iniisip ko na paano ako magtuturo, paano ko tuturuan ng mga bata, paano kung ang mga batang ito ay paano ba sila matututo sa mga ituturo ko. Lalo't sa panahon ngayon, maraming pamilya nawala ng trabaho ang magulang. So maraming bagay ang nawala sa kanila. So sa ganang akin, ang aking mga concerns ay marami po akong tanong. Paano po kaya yung mga batang galing sa private schools, na mga batang dating nag-aaral sa magandang eskwelahan, biglang nawala ng trabaho yung magulang, at biglang inilipat sa public school? Ano po kayong mga damdamin na mararamdaman nila? Kaya po ba nilang makipagsalamuha sa mga batang diverse na nandito sa ating public schools? Alam ko may mga kinatatakutan din sila. At ang teacher din, kagaya ko, meron din pong feeling na awkward na paano ko ba i-handle ang batang to? Dahil nga, iba ang kanyang pinanggalingang eskwelahan? O iba rin ang kanyang mga pinag-aaralan sa eskwelahan nila? Dahil alam natin, ng libro ng public school ay iba rin ang sa kanila. Ang medium of instruction din minsan ay iba. So, napakahirap po talaga. So, pag tinitingnan ko po yung isa pang tanong, paano po kaya yung mga batang, ang mga magulang ay, sila mismo ay limitado ang kaalaman. Dahil ngayon sa tinatawag nating distant learning, napakahirap po talaga. Lalo na yung mga subjects na English, math, or science, napakahirap. Mahirap intindihin. Kailangan kang mag-set ng maraming examples. Yung science, kailangan po na, usually po kasi tinuturo to ng collaboration. So, sila ay mga nag-aaral ng sabay-sabay, magkakasama, nagtatanungan, ginagabayan ng guro. Pero sa panahon na ito, wala na pong mangyayaring ganun. Dahil, nandun po sila sa kanilang kanya-kanyang bahay. Wala nang teacher na magagabay, Wala na ring mga ka-classmate na pagtatanungan. So parang iniisip ko po na parang walang masyadong saya. Walang interaction kasi. So, ang iniisip ko lang, maiintindihan po ba nila yung gustong ipaintindi sa kanila ng mga guro? Dahil marami nang nabawas. Kung noong panahon, ang math, itinuturing ng paulit-ulit ni teacher, hindi module. Pag hindi naintindihan, uulitin ni teacher, isusulat sa blackboard at sinusundan ng bata. Sa ngayon, paano po yung module? Lalo't yung magulang nila ay hindi rin marunong o di kaya walang magagabay sa bata. Matututunan pa ba nila yung mga bagay na gusto naming ipaabot sa kanila? Siguro sa panahon na to, napakahirap. Lalo na, yung mga batang talagang walang-wala. Ang naririnig ko po ngayon laging katanungan ng mga bagulang. Paano kami? Wala kaming laptop, wala kaming iPad, wala kaming internet, at lalong wala po kaming pang-load. So parang napakahirap po. Parang namamatay ako sa kaiisip na paano ko ba mai-deliver ng tama itong mga lessons na to. Alam ko hindi lang po ako nagkakaroon ng fears na ganito. Alam ko bawat teacher na nakikinig, sila din ay may agam-agam na parehas ng nararamdaman ko. So, sa ngayon po, iniisip ko din, hindi lang yung lesson, pati po yung space nila sa bahay nila. Dahil nga, ang batang taga-public school, mas marami po kaming estudyanteng nakatira sa maliliit na bahay. Mas marami po sa kanila nakatira sa isang kwarto lamang, kung saan nandoon na ang lahat, yung kusina, yung kainan, yung tulugan. Paano po kaya sila mag-aaral? At meron po kayang pagkakataon na matuto sila ng tama? Dahil pag iniisip ko pa lang na andun sila lahat, maingay, kulang sa maraming bagay na dapat meron sila na hindi kagaya ng eskwelahan. Matututunan po kaya nila yung mga gustong ibigay ng teacher? Although alam ko sa panahon ng kung ano-anong bagay, alam kong handa, subalit, kaya bang i-absorb ng lahat ng bata yung gustong ituro at ilagay sa utak ng mga teacher? Sa tingin ko po, napakahirap dahil maraming kulang. So, ang isa pa po, napakahirap po dahil kung noong panahon, ang problema ng magulang ay pamasahe, baon, si teacher, yung batang non-reader, napalitan po ngayon. Yung kakulangan ng mga teknolohiya, I mean, kahit man lang cellphone, o kahit man lang load, sana ito ay matugunan. Dahil napakahirap po para sa aming guro na pinaghahandaan namin ang lahat ng bagay para matuto isang bata. Pero sa tingin ko, napakahirap pong gawin dahil alam ko nga po, diverse ang estudyante namin. Merong marunong, madaling makaintindi na kahit walang gabay ng magulang. Merong batang nasa middle, pwedeng gabayan. Subalit paano kung wala silang mga magagamitin? Dahil alam ko, kung module lamang, mahirap po talaga. So lalo na po yung mga batang kunting-kunti ang alam. Siguro po ito yung magiging dagdag na problema naming mga guro. Baka kung noong panahon, bago magtapos ng klase, merong isang non-reader, baka ngayon po ay madagdagan. So, ito po yung kinalulungkot ko. At ito yung kinakatakot ko na sana po wag mangyari. Na sana po matulungan. Dahil alam ko yung mga batang hindi masyadong natututo, nagkakaroon po ng depresyon, nagkakaroon po sila ng feelings na hindi maganda. Paano ako? Paano yung kinabukasan ko? Paano yung pangarap ko? Paano ko maaabot? Dahil sa kakulangan po ng mga bagay na nasa kanila. So, yun lang po. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Teacher Angel. Nako, ay haba po kayong nag-share, nararamdaman ko po yung mga anxieties, no, yung mga feeling, yung mga challenges, no, na totoo po yun, na napakarami po mga bata ang lumipat ngayon mula sa private na papunta sa public. At ibig sabihin nito, dumami ang mga estudyante natin sa isang platform na bago sa atin, no, yung distance learning. And the challenge of parents becoming teachers, and then the challenge of technology or the lack of it, yung laptops, yung internet connections and loads. And then I think yung isa sa pinakamalaking worry is paano natin mamamonitor yung learning, yung increased knowledge ng bata, yung kanyang kaalaman sa mathematics at yung kanyang pagiging isang magaling na magbasa na isang bata, no? So these are all valid thoughts and feelings because we are all adjusting, no, dito sa bago, yung sinasabi nilang new normal, o sa bagong pamamaraan natin. Okay, thank you again, Teacher Angel, for sharing that. So manatili lang po kayo dyan, and tayo po ay makikinig pa sa iba nating mga guests ngayong araw na ito, no? So, may mga kasama tayo ngayon na eksperto sa usapin na may kaugnayan sa management ng ating mental and psychosocial health. Kasi 'di ba dati-dati pag sinasabing mental health, iba na agad yung mga pumapasok na mga idea sa atin, 'di ba? Yung negative agad siya. Pero ang usapin po kasi talaga ng mental health ngayon ay unti-unti nang binubuksan at pinapalawak bilang isang mahalagang bagay na dapat ding maalagaan gaya ng pag-aalaga natin sa ating katawan. And to start the discussion, let me introduce a doctor who is the Associate Professor of the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Medicine, College of Medicine of the University of the Philippines, Manila. Palakpakan po natin isang warm virtual welcome for Dr. Lourdes Rosana de Guzman. Hi, Doc Rosana. Ayan, baka nagkakaroon tayo ng a little technical problem. Doc Rosana? Sige po, kung kayo po ay may mga katanungan.
Mukhang marami tayong matututunan, Michelle, kay Doc Rosana.
Alam mo, actually, siguro, mula dun sa mga shinare ni Teacher Angel, baka yung ating mga participants, no, mula sa FB at sa Zoom, i-type nyo lang po, baka gusto nyo rin po mag-share ng inyong mga agam-agam dito sa ating bagong sitwasyon, no, sa pagtuturo. Lalo na, yung distance learning, napaka-challenging, lalo na kung hindi ka techie, di ba, Sir Rex? Ang hirap nun. Ayan, sige po.
I'm ready.
Hi, Doc Rosana.
Yes,
sige po. Magandang
Ayan
hapon.
na si Ma'am Lourdes.
Ayan. Sige po, Doc.
Magandang hapon po sa inyong lahat. Kamusta po kayo? Alam ko po na ang pinaghahandaan po ninyong mabuti ang pusukan. Ako po rin kasi nagtuturo po ako sa College of Medicine ng UP. 180 students ang pumasok sa UP College of Medicine at lahat po sila online. Ngayon at inililipat ang opening of classes sa 24 ng August 2020. Kakaiba ang ating senaryo at ang dami-daming nangyayari since the lockdown on the 16th of March 2020. Bilangin natin almost 5 months to date hang bukas, no? And we are waiting for the announcement of President Duterte for the new quarantine classification tomorrow, no? So from NCR, we have been cautioned to temper our expectations because the COVID-19 virus data do not support the easing of the restrictions. In fact, ang headline ngayon is critical care capacity hits danger zone sa lahat ng mga hospital. So I'd like to share with you my presentation on mental wellness in the new normal. Can I do the sharing right now?
Yes, go ahead, Dr. Sana. Please share your screen.
My screen for everybody. And I'm willing to share to everyone through AKAP Guro, okay? Because there are some helpful tips that you can practice at home, especially for teachers, okay? So we'll just wait for a while, no? gaano po tayo apektado since we have never experienced how it is to open our schools in this new normal. Okay. After the March 19 lockdown of the country, with the ECQ and the GCQ to flatten the curve, everyone had to cope with unfamiliar new surroundings. No, come to think of it, we have health concerns. No, hospitals overload with COVID-19. Mahirap ho magkasakit ngayon at mapadala sa ospital because you are suspected as a COVID-19 patient. No, di nakakayanin ng ating mga hospital na tumanggap pa ng ibang pasyente dahil punong-puno na sila. Then we have this work at home, no? Very stressful sa ating mga guro. School closures and homeschooling for the parents, and not to discount the fact that there is a high rate of unemployment and financial losses affecting all families. And on a personal level, even our personal projects, our activities, our travel plans have suddenly been halted. And also, we have to include social distancing. But physical distancing is not equal to emotional distancing. That's why we need to explore ways in which the COVID-19 pandemic might adjust, shape, or reorder our lives across multiple dimensions. So my outline is very simple lang. What does mental wellness consist of in the new normal? And how can we raise resilient families? Not only for teachers, but also how can we help the parents? No? Okay, then so oftentimes we can ask ourselves, how can we continue to keep ourselves safety and healthy in this new normal? And what habits can I adapt as a teacher to keep myself physically and mentally healthy during this quarantine? No, we are in the new normal, but what does it exactly mean? Actually, the new normal is an idiomatic expression because it refers to significant changes of the prevailing situation. That's why you have merging behaviors, situations, minimum mental health standard that will already be institutionalized in common and routine practices and even remain after this pandemic. So work, home, and social lahat yan ay may pagbabago. What we are faced now is #HealthyAtHome Challenge. Although it came with challenges, this deadly pandemic has claimed lives, economic instability, but nevertheless, the quarantine has kept many of us safe and has also affected our mental health. So what awaits us after this quarantine, after this lockdown? So if you look at the list on the right, isolation, there's less we become less physically active. I'm sure there's weight gain already para sa atin, no? More screen time, syempre we spend more time on the internet or watching TV. Irregular sleeping patterns, no? Kasi wala na yung structure, wala na tayong schedule na fina-follow, no? Irregular sleeping patterns. We consume some unhealthy foods, no? And then there's limited person-to-person contact, less interaction with friends, and come to think of it, if our children are not maintained, no, in the scholarly level, eventually will we expect poor academic achievements? There's boredom at home and lack of personal space. Yung sinasabi ni Teacher Angela, saan mag-aaral yung mga bata? So looking, people are adapting to isolation and lockdown, and the physical and mental needs are arising as a result. So these are the new behaviors that we are practicing right now in the community. Mandatory wearing of facial masks, and that's for all local government units. We have to maintain physical distancing of 6 feet. Continue washing your hands, no, properly, no, and we have to carry alcohol, sanitize everything that you have to touch to ensure your safety outside. Then there is also the concern that we have, no, sa bahay, ano naman dapat natin gawin? Stay at home, no, upang mapigilan, tuluyan nating pagpuksa ang pagkalat ng COVID-19. Our homes will continue to be the only place where we can have some form of control of the environment. If one or more family members will resume work outside the home upon the end of this GCQ or ECQ, we start to feel anxiety because mahahawa ko ba ang pamilya? Mahahawa ba ako? Mahahawa ko ba yung mga anak ko? It's best to double our efforts to ensuring a clean home. Cleanliness at home, no? It's very, you have to stress that fact to yourself and to your children to make sure you disinfect. Ang panglinis lang natin, basic na panglinis is sabon at tubig, no? As much as possible if you plan to also to receive visitors. Then there's personal hygiene and hand washing. Noon pa yan sinasabi natin, wash your hands before you eat, wash your hands when you pagbalik mo sa paglalaro, no? Because in this way, we also encourage family members to take a bath, no? Just to be on the safe side, and sanitation, no? If possible, designate a sanitation area at home. Sa Japan nga, iniiwan nila yung mga sapatos nila sa labas at at yung malinis na tsinelas ang paggamit sa bahay. So if we don't practice all that, then we subject ourselves to a lot of stressors. No, how will we manage this anxiety and isolation during this quarantine? No, because there's fear and anxiety of infection when I go out of the house. There's mental trauma of those infected. Meron ba kayong nakilala o mga pamilyang naapektuhan ng COVID-19 death? No. Long isolation duration, it's not easy for children, no? Pag tinatanong ko yung mga pamangkin ko, nade-depress sila kasi hindi nila nakikita yung kanilang mga kaibigan o hindi nila nakakausap. Decreased physical activity, unpredictable events. Hindi mo alam ano bang mangyayari after July 15. Will this continue? Makakauwi ba ako makakabisita ba ako sa aking mga loved ones sa probinsya? Then disrupted social relationship, not to mention family financial losses, especially those who are day-to-day earners. Then for the teachers, we're managing a different workload. I mean, just to imagine the preparations that all of us have to make, before the opening of classes. Ang daming kailangan, lahat ita-transfer yung ating modules, gagawin lahat online, no? And there's uncertainty about the future. When will this stop? When will this end? When will we go back to normal? So all this, we have to, and in fact, what has been seen in the children with reduced physical activity and increased sedentary lifestyle, they found out that before the pandemic, the physical activity of children had been 40 minutes per week. Now, during the pandemic, bumawas, naging 105 minutes per week na lang, no? But compare it to the screen time. Yung total screen time ng mga bata during the school days was 610. Now with the pandemic, no, with what they can have online or access, 2,340. No? So what happens is that it's linked to It's linked to loss of muscular and cardiorespiratory fitness. There's weight gain children. There's a lot of psychosocial problems. Yung the conflict at home, no, with poor academic achievements, which will have a negative impact later on that may extend to adulthood. Okay, so we have to recognize the symptoms of stress. No, when we feel irritable, angry, and sometimes nagagalit tayo pero hindi natin tinatanggap na nanggagaling sa atin lahat. We feel uncertain and nervous, and anxious of what to expect, There's lack of motivation. Kakayanin ko ba to? Mahirap ba to? We feel tired and overwhelmed or burnt out, because of the overload of work that we have to go through. We feel sad or depressed and having trouble sleeping, and also eventually having troubles concentrating. Okay, so this is not mental health disorder, no? It's chronic stress reaction, no? That can manifest in anxiety reactions, and that affects our job performance and productivity. And sometimes, and eventually later on, there might be absenteeism and high turnover of employees. There's decreased motivation and job satisfaction, a lot of interpersonal problems, not only at home, but maybe in school if we don't understand what's going on, no? More frequent consultations in the medical clinics. Ngayon, dumadami na ang online consultations, no? And the burnt out syndrome. Non-specific yung burnout, basta masakit ang ulo, hindi alam, sumasakit ang dibdib, no? Sumasakit ang kasukasuan. Very unspecific ang burnt out, no? That prevents us from getting our job done. Okay, so finally we go to the important thing. How do we cope with the stress of post-COVID? And I'd like to leave you with some very concrete messages, take-home messages. No, you need to have a proactive approach, and I will explain that. Staying connected, no, develop healthy habits, know the facts, no, of what COVID-19 is. I think you had a lecture last time about COVID-19. how it is spread and how we have to take care. We need social support, and of course, I'm going to teach you some relaxation to help you to relax and to help you to to rest at night. So when I say know the facts about COVID, you need to be well informed by seeking information from trusted sources. Hindi yung haka-haka lang, no? Kasi in this way, one can seek reasonable precautions to protect yourself and the family. It's important to get the fact, not gossip, not rumors, not misinformation that can only lead to more stress and anxiety. Facts can help minimize fears. And practice good social media hygiene. Take a break from alarming feeds that make you think of the worst. Next, take a proactive approach. No? Make a plan, especially for us teachers, we need to make a plan on a day-to-day basis and identify what we can do within this day today, no? Because that gives a sense of purpose and meaning in everything that we do. Tapos try to visualize, it's good to visualize a daily timetable or a routine to start your day with reflection and prayer. You know, the best way to teach our children how to pray, no, is for them to learn to give thanks, no, the first thing in the first hour of the day, no, to give thanks for all the blessings that they receive. And then the other thing also is ensure a variety of activities in your things to do list, no? Especially for mothers and for mothers when you have your family, when you have your children at home, you try to come up with a variety of activities of them. What definitely has been lost is yung play with their other playmates and classmates, no? So try to see what activity you can come up for them to exercise at home, to do walking, to do some arts and crafts, no? Because it's good also for them to spend that energy, and it will not only promote physical agility, but also mental agility. So next is to stay connected, no? You know, connecting with friends and families have a positive effect on our well-being, no? Whether it's a text message or a video chat. Just staying connected on a daily basis keeps us centered and grounded, no? So talking with friends and family, listening to others reinforces our sense of wholeness na hindi tayo nag-iisa during this time of the pandemic. We have to be creative about our social support, no? We need to share our thoughts and ideas with friends and learn from each other. What can I do at home? What can I do for my children? How can I learn this new app, no? People we can trust, no? Social support is very important because assisting others in time of need can benefit both the person receiving the support and the person giving that support. Be open and be concerned about those living nearby. You know, as emotional support, no, find ways to care and share with each others. Assistance, be open and concerned about also those living around you, no? In fact, in the community, lahat sila nagluluto. So nag-exchange sila ng, okay, I cook this for you. This is something that I prepared for you. Would you like to buy this, no? So they don't have to go out very far, and that will expose themselves. Reliable support, offer help to your neighbors, and gratefully accept help from the others, no? Support for needs, no? Show solidarity during this time of crisis that we can do this together. Advice and information is necessary, and reassurances of our self-worth and feeling needed. Believe in our values of strength and resilience. How important is family bonding during this time? We need to express our love and care towards family members and reassure each other, no, that the basic needs will be met, no, even if it's very difficult on the part of the parents. But I'm sure God will always provide for each one of us if we also try to do everything that we have to do. Be sensitive to family members who may be worried and fearful. Then what we can do is to organize your home to feel comfortable and relaxed. One way for this is that you know that Corona, it's good to have your rooms or your houses well ventilated. No, sometimes we think, no, walang electricity. No, ventilation is the best, not to fight it off. Avoid conflict and arguments at this time. And each one of you, nobody's rushing to go somewhere. So everybody has a time for dialogue. And then how can we build resilience and manage job stress? Well, all the teachers and the supervisors, you need to communicate with co-workers, supervisors, and employees on how best can we take advantage of the resources available. You know, in one school that I know, of course, it's online teaching. What they did was to fundraising and ask the help of the local government units to raise tablets for each one of their students, no? And they were able to raise, the tablets. I think what you have to do is let's try to maximize the community resources, no? And ask for help, no? Especially from your local government units, no? And then, of course, hindi natin iwanan, bayanihan is very important, no? We have to have an emergency plan and know your community resources. Let's say in school, what if one of your teachers contracted COVID? What will you do? What is your emergency plan? What if one of the children had contracted COVID? Anong gagawin nyo? No? Have an emergency plan in your school. No? And then also at home, how you need to explain to the children why they have to be quarantined and why they have to do this. No? Connect with the community and other social organizations. And each one of us has to be willing to make personal adjustments to ensure public safety. Okay? So, we go to the last part, which is healthy habits, healthy living, no? And for this, we need, just to break the ice for everybody, no? I wanted to teach you relaxation techniques, no? This is something that you can do to help you cope with the stress reactions of your body, no? Just follow me and I'll teach you how to do progressive relaxation. And you can do this anywhere, even before you go to bed, no? Just because of all the worries that's in your mind, you just want to learn how to break, all these things that you're thinking about. And one way to do that is to do relaxation technique. Relaxation is something that does not make you fall asleep, no? It's to do an activity that requires less effort, but you are still aware of everything around you. So for the teachers, for those at home, I want you to put everything, your hands on your lap, not holding your cell phone, not holding anything, no? And just glued to listening, even just listening to my voice. And I will give you instructions on how to do it. I want you to do deep breathing exercise. And when you do deep breathing exercise, do not raise your shoulders, no? That's not deep breathing. Deep breathing is your shoulders are relaxed, but your diaphragm rises every time you do breathe. And I want you to hold your breath. And when you hold your breath, I want you to hold it for 3 seconds before you release your breath by blowing slowly, as if you're blowing through a balloon. Okay, so close your eyes. Okay, follow my instructions. Okay, let's all breathe deeply. Hold it and then blow, as if you're blowing through a balloon. Again, breathe, hold it, and then blow. Very good. Okay, breathe again. Hold it, and then blow. Eventually, you're blowing everything that's in your mind away. Breathe again. Hold it, and then blow. As if you feel your body's trying to relax. Relax, relax. One more time. Breathe again. Hold it, and then blow. Blow everything away. Okay, so you can see from being very tense earlier, we now learn to relax. And when you relax, you feel lighter, okay? And that helps a lot, okay? So, okay, of course, syempre, we're all at home, healthy diet, and we follow the basic food pyramid, no? Because of course we want to, especially for us teachers, we have to manage a good diet for weight loss, reduce cancer risk, And for those with history of diabetes or diabetes management, really the best way for diabetes management is really our diet. No? It will also prevent stroke, maintain strong bones and teeth, better mood, improve our memory, and improve gut health. In fact, those who have found to have depression and anxiety have problems with their gut health. And one of the things that has helped, one of the things that we found out that has helped is probiotics. No, if you take probiotics, it will improve your gut health. Okay, and then getting a good night's sleep also is important. Okay, that's why we segue to exercise. No, exercise will improve our mood, reduce stress, as well as improve our ability to cope with stress physically and mentally. And there's also pride in our physical accomplishment, because really exercise will improve your self-esteem. Okay, improves body image, no, and that will increase satisfaction with ourselves. We have increased feelings of energy, and we have that confidence in our physical abilities, with decreased symptoms associated with depression and anxiety. And then, very important, now that we have time, let's get enough time to sleep. No? Keep a consistent sleep schedule. Set a bedtime schedule. No? And it's good to at least have 7 to 8 hours of sleep. And I tell you, if you have 7 to 8 hours of sleep, your sleep will be enough to sustain your daytime activities. No? Establish a relaxing bedtime routine. This time, limit exposure to bright light and in the evenings, especially the bright lights of your cell phone, the bright lights of your electronic gadgets, no? At least 30 minutes before bedtime. Then exercise regularly and maintain a healthy diet. You know, one of the things, I was a COVID-19 patient and had been hospitalized, no? For 2 weeks on quarantine and 2 weeks hospitalization. And really what helped was I had to focus on practical activities that I know I can do. One of it was to go out and enjoy the morning sun, no? Because vitamin D will not only increase your bones, but will give you energy. Okay? And it's good for as catalyst for the enzyme activities of your body. Then maintain a normal schedule. Maybe it's a different kind of schedule, but if you follow a schedule, then you'll be able to do a lot of things. Then keep a journal so that we remember. No? The best memory gadget is paper and pencil, no? To remember the things that we have to do. And the last one is good humor. I'm sure, you like this very much. Good humor. I'm sure all of you have been a fan of Crash Landing on You. And there are 4 reasons why you like it. Because it will make you laugh, because it made your heart skip a beat, no? Because it will make you believe in destiny, and because it was worth it. There are a lot of values that we appreciate very much in Crash Landing on You. No? So that's 16 episodes, huh? And then, of course, before I end, respect for and honor for the frontliners. No? Teach your kids, teach the children in school to respect the security guards, the healthcare workers, the janitorial staff that's keeping our environment safe and free. By acknowledging the important role they play in keeping our environment safe and clean, and by the service they render in saving lives, it truly becomes a collaborative effort to live bayanihan to heal as one act. And the last one is we need to fight stigma and discrimination. We need to avoid labels, no? People with COVID, victims of COVID, COVID-19 families, sad to say in the communities, no? Pag galing Maynila noon, welcome, no? From Metro Manila. This time they are asked to be quarantined and they are told to go back to it's very sad, no? That's not how we understood as bayanihan. People who are affected by COVID-19 have not done anything wrong. We have not done anything wrong. And they deserve our compassion, support, and kindness. No? After recovering from COVID-19, our life will move on with our jobs, with our loved ones, with our families. Ultimately, there is only one solution. No? Act with kindness, act with love, but with physical distancing. To end, we are here to help you. Timely referral for workers needing counseling and psychosocial support for those with mental health problems. Open po ang Women Protection Unit, no? and also ang Child Protection Unit ng Philippine General Hospital 24/7 po, no? And we have the Department of Psychiatry and Behavioral Medicine. So now we are also segueing to telepsychiatry and telemedicine, no? To receive consult. And I'm sure Unilab will come, AKAP Guro organization has come up with a list of referrals, no, that is accessible to all of you. So before ending, I'd like to talk to you about Project Lingap sa bawat pamilyang Pilipino. Sana tulungan niyo po kami dito. This is the first ever national survey on mental health and well-being. We have one for adults, and we also have one for children and adolescents. And hopefully, we will share with you the questionnaire for teachers on how to detect common behavioral problems in children and adolescents. So sana, right now, our field operations have been temporarily halted because of this COVID pandemic. But hopefully, if not by August or September, until March 2021, we will go to all the regions of the Philippines, no? Because we're going to do household interviews on mental, neurological, and substance use disorder among adults, children, and adolescents. So maraming salamat po, and I'd like to thank the organizers for giving me this opportunity to reach out to you and to talk to you about mental wellness in the new normal. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc Rosana. Naku, siguro, no, balikan natin yung isa kasi yung first and last na mga slides ni Doc Rosana talagang tumimo sa akin, no. So yung last niya kasi sabi niya, act with kindness and act with love, pero with physical distancing pa rin. Siyempre, yung mahalaga, sinusunod pa rin natin yung guidelines, no. And it's also good for us to, yung sa first na sinabi niya, is to raise resilient families. And that family includes us now, teachers, para nagiging isang pamilya na yung sa education sector, no, yung mga teachers at yung mga parents at yung mga bata, no. So, maraming salamat po ulit, Doc Rosana. Napakarami, no. I took a lot of notes from your presentation, and one very special thing that kept me going, no, personally, is also yung to acknowledge and be grateful, no, for when you wake up in the morning, the first thing you do is to pray and to thank God for another day. So, marami pong salamat sa inyong pagbabahagi, no? At habang nag-present po si Doktora, ay marami na po tayong natatanggap ng mga questions sa ating Q&A box. So, please keep them coming, and don't forget to use our hashtag AKAP Guro. Okay, Doc, meron lang po tayo sigurong mga ilang katanungan, ano? Meron po bang indicators, for example, may mga parang top questions to determine if you are suffering from mental health conditions? Parang may guide po ba yung mga teachers at yung iba pang nakikinig sa atin para ma-assess nila kung sila ba yung meron na ba silang mental health problem?
Okay. So I'll give you a guide, no, that for all teachers and all mothers, no, it's normal for children to feel fearful and anxious, no, about what's going to happen, and also feel sad, no, when they suffer, when they have to get through a difficult situation or suffer a failure. But for the teachers and mothers, I want you to remember your 5 fingers. No? The 5 fingers are very important because that's a gauge for you that your child is going through a normal situation. No? First, there is concern for the family. Pamilya, importante para sa mga bata and adolescent. Number 2, yung peer relationships, no? Yung mga friends nila, classmates nila, no? Meron silang mga best friends, no? And it's very good that they get to talk to their best friends and go out with them because that's how they develop their social skills. Number 3, maalaga sa sarili at sa katawan, no? Yung activities of daily living, yung proper kain, tulog, no? At saka pag-ingat sa sarili nila, no? Yung naliligo, malinis sa katawan. Remember, not only hand washing, but the cleanliness of oneself. Then also there is academic performance. Usually, ang unang bumibigay, ang school performance. Kaya pag bumabagsak na ang bata or may failing grades, then you try to see ano bang nangyayari. And the last one is their leisure activities. No? Leisure, nagpa-basketball, they're playing with their friends. So if all these activities, your 5 fingers, family, friends, okay, activities of daily living, okay, academic performance, school performance, and number 5 is your leisure activity. If all these 5 activities suffer, wala nang halaga ang pamilya, ina-avoid ang mga friends, wala nang pag-aalaga sa sarili, no? Very bumabagsak sa school, tapos wala nang interes sa mga bagay-bagay, then that's when you have a mental health problem. Okay, so remember that 5 fingers, keep that very much in mind. Okay.
Okay. Salamat po dun sa 5 fingers na yun. Ano? Mabilis na assessment lang. Pero, Doc, siguro, pwede niyo po bang i-share, ano po ba yung difference ng fear, anxiety, at saka depression?
Okay. Pag sinabing fears, fear of something very specific. No? Fear of the typhoon, fear of the earthquake, di ba? Meron tayong very specific ang fear. Pag sinabing anxiety, yung sinasabi nilang atake ng nervyos, no? Of something that is non-specific. We don't know where it's coming from, no? But we are anxious, no? And anxiety is something that your also body experiences, di ba? Parang nagkakaroon ka ng palpitations, malamig, pinapawisan ka ng malamig, sumasakit ang ulo, umiikot, no? Hirap kang huminga. Anxiety has physical manifestations. Now, depression is something different. Kaya sinasabi, depression is kalungkutan or sinasabi ng lungkot ng damdamin. No? Now, there's a normal depression, which is usually because we lost a loved one or because we failed in something. But there is also what you call clinical depression. No? And here, this is the concern of ating mga doktor. As a doctor, we're concerned of people suffering from severe clinical depression. Lungkot ng damdamin, wala nang interes sa mga bagay-bagay. Okay? Pag-iiba ang pagkain, di na makatulog, feeling of guilt and worthlessness, no? Wala nang pag-asa sa buhay nila. And the last one that we are very concerned, especially for students, no, is yung thoughts of suicide. Remember, sa mga guro, no person in her right mind will want to kill themselves. Just remember that. No? And if a person tells you, if one child tells you, I want to kill myself, that is a wake-up call. And they are asking for our help. In fact, it's good also to ask them, and anong gagawin mo? Yun, sasabihin nila yan, no? Because they will not say it if we don't ask. That's why it's good to ask the children and adolescents.
So, Dok, kunwari nandun ka na sa sitwasyon na yun, paano mo malalaman kung kaya pa siyang i-manage o kailangan mo na talagang mag-seek ng medical help?
Okay. In managing people who want to commit suicide, the first thing that you do is you do not leave them alone. Okay?
Yes.
With suicide precautions, one of the first requirement is 24-hour watcher. Do not leave them alone. And you have to inform the parents of the situation. No? And the second is, well, of course, we have to protect them from themselves by taking out all, kasi usually with adolescents, no, what we find out in our emergency room is overdose. No? Or sometimes they take in yung mga bawal na gamot, no? Which is Zorox, Clorox, Bygone, you take it, no? It happens, even kerosene, no? Or even shampoo, diba? Or even yung what's this? Paracetamol tablets, no? That's why you have to keep them under lock and key, okay? And then also, the other thing also, and that's when you already refer. If you cannot manage, that's already when you refer for professional help.
Okay. Naku, maraming salamat po, Doc Rosana. No? So, mamaya po babalikan namin kayo para sa ating open forum na I'm sure marami tayong mga tanong na ay i-bring up mamaya. Marami pong salamat uli. At base po sa narinig ko mula sa inyo, pati na rin kay Teacher Angel, naisip ko po mahalaga talaga yung openness, no, at communication ng ating mga teachers. hindi lamang sa kapwa nila teachers, kung hindi pati na rin sa mga magulang, no? So communication is a very important tool para po tayo ay magkaroon ng mas mainam na connection sa isa't isa kahit tayo ay malayo sa isa't isa. At sa pagbubukas po kasi ng klase na iba yung curriculum dahil sa COVID-19, no? Meron na tayong tinatawag ngayon na distance learning at expect natin yung blended learning soon. Pihadong may mga worries hindi lamang ang mga teachers at school administrators, kundi pati na rin ang mga parents. Siyempre po, hindi natin maiiwasan yan, no, sa ganitong sitwasyon natin. Kaya narito po si Miss Ria Raborar, isang social worker mula sa FEU-NRMF. Pero higit po sa lahat ng yan ay isa siyang nanay na may 3 anak at 2 po sa mga anak niya ay nag-aaral na. Kaya nais niyang magbahagi ng kanyang perspective para sa pagbubukas ng ating klase. Narito po, Miss Ria, hello!
Hello po. Ayan,
magandang hapon po.
Para sa lahat ng mga nakikinig dito sa ating AKAP Guro Connected, yung webinar po na binigay sa atin ng Unilab. Ayan, so bilang magulang, so ano ba yung mga bagay na kinakabahala ko sa papasok na school year na ito? No? So bilang working mom sa 2 bata na nag-aaral ng incoming grade 7 at grade 12, senior high, bukod sa takot na magkaroon na sakit ang aking pamilya, hindi naman pwedeng hayaan na lang yung buhay natin na puro takot na lang. So kailangan din mag-move forward, no, sa buhay. So salamat sa webinar na ito, mabigyan ako ng pagkakataon na maibahagi ang aking saloobin at marinig din ang issues ng mga guro, maaring gawin ng bawat isa sa issue ng mental health. Ayan. So una, sa situationer po, may isa akong anak na transferee from private to government school. So malaking hamon ito dahil iba ang approach sa pagtuturo. So nag-aalala ako kung handa ba ang anak ko sa panibagong challenge na to, handa ba ang internet connection namin? Kasi kaya bang matuto ng anak ko sa bagong modality na to? Handa ba ang funds ng family to support yung 5 times a week na full internet connection? At dahil 2 yung anak ko, medyo malaking gasto siya considering na unstable ang income natin ngayon. Hindi lahat may trabaho. Ako ay hindi pa nakakabalik sa work. So parang mga 4 or 5 months na akong hindi nakakabalik sa trabaho at dahil yun sa quarantine. So kaya ba ng simpleng cellphone? O need ba ng bagong laptop ang aking mga anak? No? So kasi hindi natin alam kung ano ba yung requirement para sa online school. So kailangan ko bang bumili? Iniisip ko rin yun. Kailangan ko ba ng magandang headset? O kailangan ko ba ng bagong printer? Ayan. Pag sa modular naman, kaya bang unawain ng anak ko yung mga leksyon, no? So parang ang mangyayari, self-study siya dahil babasahin niya lang yata yung mga lecture. Tapos parang may mga exam. So parang mas mahirap para sa bata na hindi sanay sa ganong klase ng pagtuturo, no? Or blended ba? I mean, combination ba ng online at saka ng modular? So, pwedeng gano'n. So, kaya ba mag-adjust? So, iniisip ko, makakahabol ba siya? No? So, parang ang hirap. Sa incoming grade 7 ko naman na anak, medyo may issue ako doon kasi mahihain yung anak ko. No? So, unlike yung ibang kabataan, hindi siya sanay sa mga online discussions or sabihin natin yung mga simpleng video call. Ayaw niyang pinapakita ng matagal yung mukha niya sa video. So siguro kasi dahil nagbibinata na, nahihiya siya na makita kung ano yung mga pagbabago sa mukha niya. So siguro dahil meron siyang nag-sprout ng mga pimples or baka nagkakaroon siya ng mga ibang pagbabago sa mukha niya. And to think na bagong environment yung makakakita sa kanya, hindi niya kilala lahat ng tao. No? So bagong teacher, bagong classmate, ayan, tapos naka-online pa sila. So isa pang challenge, kung halimbawa nagtuturo si teacher, kaya ba niyang magtanong agad sa teacher kung, teacher, hindi ko po naiintindihan yung sinabi niyo, or kung kaya ba niya i-private message si teacher na, teacher, paano po ba to? Or ano po ba yung pwede kong gawin? Kasi katulad nga ng sinabi ng ni teacher kanina, sinusulat ulit sa blackboard pag hindi naintindihan. Pero dahil naka-online, hindi siguro madaling gawin yun, no? So kasi parang baka mamaya nakamute sila habang nagtuturo si teacher, yung mga ganon. So isa yun sa mga issues. Dati pwede mo lapitan si teacher. So ngayon parang hindi. So baka kung kaya bang i-private message. So naisip ko baka ma-stress siya doon sa issue na yon, no? Tapos isa pa yung dahil sa new curriculum, blended learning daw. Bilang magulang, isa sa mga magulang, kaya ko bang turuan yung anak ko sa bahay? Makakahabol ba ako sa mga lecture ni teacher? Kaya ko ba siyang turuan? Kasi parang sobrang tagal na no, nag-aral ako. Yan, magagabayan ko ba sila? Yan. So para naman sa senior high school ng anak, yung mga practical exams, kaya ba niyang overcome yung anxiety na hindi ko nagawa ito during my senior high, no? Yung hindi niya na-feel ng maayos. So lahat ng to nakaka-stress din. So bukod dun sa bawal lumabas, yung walang communication sa outside world, walang nakakakwentuhan na ibang tao, nakaka-stress yung mga issues na yon on health. Ayan. So isa pa yung mga matagal na kababad sa gadget, ayan, mga radiation issues, isa yan sa mga wino-worry namin. So nakakatuwa lang na merong mga webinar na ganito na binigay sa atin ng Unilab. So nakatulong yung mga lectures na sinabi ni Doktora kanina. So bilang magulang, nakita ko yung importance ng mental health at yung to overcome yung mga anxieties, to stay healthy pa rin. So salamat kay Dr. D. Guzman dun sa mga binahagi ng examples and dun sa 5 fingers. So nabawasan yung iba naming alalahanin. So ayun lang.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mami Ria. No? Talagang dito nakita natin, kung naalala nyo sa ibinahagi ni Teacher Angel kanina, para kasi ngang nakita ko na magkatugma yung concerns and worries ng ating mga parents, no? Lalo na, di ba kanina sinabi ni Teacher Angel na yung wino-worry niya na may mga mag-a-adjust na mga bata dahil sa kanilang mga paglipat, no, mula sa private to public. At ito naman ay kinuwento ni Mami Ria na ang kanyang anak ay lumipat mula sa private, no, school. At ang isang nakita din natin dito na maliban dun sa worries nila, kasi meron ding mga pagbabagong nangyayari, no, dun sa kanyang anak na sumasabay sa buong adjustment ng lahat ng ito. So totoo nga naman na talaga kapag na-experience mo yun, no, you will have a lot of thoughts and feelings altogether, no? So, thank you sa pagbabahagi mo, Mami Ria. At malaking tulong yung openness ng bawat isa para mas mapabuti natin yung gagawin natin upang matuto at makasabay sa adjustment yung ating mga estudyante, dahil sila naman po talaga yung kasama natin sa pagbabago na ginagawa sa eskwelahan, no? Nabanggit yung distance learning, blended learning, bagong curriculum, talaga naman kung lahat tayo ay mag-a-adjust dyan. At kanina po, nabanggit ni Doc Rosana ang kahalagahan ng psychosocial support. So ang tanong natin, saan ba tayo hahanap nitong mga support na ito? Alam niyo po ba na marami ang nagtutulong-tulong na mga organisasyon upang masuportahan yung mga taong nangangailangan ng gabay para sa ating mental health? At sila po ay bukas para sa ating lahat. At hindi lang yon, sila po ay accessible, hindi lamang dito sa Metro Manila, kung hindi pati na rin sa iba't ibang lugar sa ating bansa. So ngayon po ay kasama natin ngayon sina Mr. Roy Dahil, ang co-founder ng Mental Health PH, Father Rodolfo Vicente Dan Cancino Jr., MI, Executive Secretary ng Commission on Health ng Catholic Bishops Conference of the Philippines, at si Mr. Kenny Aranas, Vice Chairperson for Education and Research ng Youth for Mental Health Coalition. Magandang araw po sa ating mga speakers. At isasama rin po natin dito sa mga katanungan, mga kasagot sa ating mga tanong, si Doc Rosana, ibabalik po natin kasi po siya ay bahagi ng Alliance of Filipino Families for Mental Health. No, marami po silang mga initiatives. Kaya po, narito na po ang ating mga speakers. Maraming salamat po sa inyong pagsali ngayong hapon. Hello, Father Dan, Roy, and Kenny. Hi!
Hi, Ate She. Good afternoon po.
Hello,
Good
good
afternoon po sa
afternoon.
lahat ng nanonood. Hello po. Good afternoon.
Yes. Hi.
Good
Okay, so
afternoon.
we have a question. Hello po, Father. We have several questions here that we would appreciate that every speaker would answer, no? So, in terms of mental health and psychosocial support, ano po ba yung ginagawa ninyo at ano-ano yung mga programa ng inyong organization for psychosocial support? So siguro let's start with the first person I called, si Roy from Mental Health BH. Can you share with us, Roy?
All right, sige. Thank you, Ate She. So, my organization is #MentalHealthPH. We are leveraging social media to promote and protect mental health in the Philippines. We understand now that social media can be very toxic for everyone, especially dahil sa sobrang daming nangyayari. Ngayon sa Pilipinas, maliban sa pandemic na nangyayari, marami din ibang mga kaganapan na nagsasabay-sabay. So as a social media advocacy group, we try to maximize this platform to provide online resources about how to take care of our mental health, how to promote self-care, and also to provide then mga relevant and important information about what's happening around us para hindi rin tayo ganun ka-disconnected with what's really happening ngayon sa ating mundo, especially dito sa Philippines. We had last February, we had MH Talks where we invited different psychiatrists to talk about different topics about mental health, especially on how to cope during this pandemic. We also created a Viber community na kung saan pwede tayo doon mag-usap-usap at ma-provide ng mga information about mental health and then updates regarding the COVID. And then on Twitter, meron din tayong #usaptayo where we try to normalize the conversation about mental health na hindi na siya ganun dapat ka-taboo or hindi siya ganun ka pag may event lang or may special event lang na pag-uusapan yung mental health. And then lastly, we also leverage the use yung paggamit ng TikTok since marami sa atin ngayon nasa TikTok. We try to push content on TikTok, gamitin yung lawak ng TikTok to share about self-care tips, especially during this most difficult time. Ngayon kasi, since most sa atin, di ba, ay nasa social media na, marami sa atin nag-migrate to a different platform dahil na din sa physical distancing at sa mga hindi tayo allowed na makipag-interact na sa mga kaibigan natin dati. Most sa atin nag-migrate na to the tech platform. So as much as possible, kami sa Mental Health PH, we try to make this platform as safe as possible to those na nandito ngayon sa platform na to. Siguro yun muna for now for our organization.
Alright. Thank you so much, Roy. May nakita lang akong post ng Mental Health PH. Sana mamaya ma-share niyo yun, no? Yung bagong parang advocacy nyo, no? Sa
yes.
social media. Okay. Salamat, Roy. And si Father Dan, can you please share with us ano po yung program ng CBCP para po sa ating psychosocial support?
Magandang hapon sa ating lahat. Magandang hapon sa lahat ng mga teachers natin na patuloy na tumutulong sa pagpapalaganap ng edukasyon at ng mabuting balita lalo-lalo na sa mga estudyante. Ang simbahan naniniwala ito na itong usapin ng mental health ay hindi lang usapin ito ng yung tao, pero usapin to ng lahat ng level ng ating lipunan. Kaya yung perspective na ang role ng family, yung role ng eskwelahan, yung role ng mga youth movements katulad nitong Mental Health PH, ng role ng mga parokya at mga faith-based organization is really important to be really together. Sa part ng ng Episcopal Commission ng Healthcare, no, ng Bishops Conference, ang coverage kasi namin it's more of a national coverage. So we work sa Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. On the area of service delivery, we have counseling and therapy 24/7 ito, online din. We make use of yung Facebook, yung mga messenger, yung Skype, kung may FaceTime, kung ano man platform no, ang ginagawa nila. Meron itong individual sessions as well as meron itong mga group sessions. No? At nagawa niyan during the enhanced community quarantine. Pangalawa, merong kaibigang response center. May mga phone numbers ito, may mga online, at ito ay with proper referral mechanism. Dahil naniniwala kami na hindi namin kaya lahat ng mga papasok na mga needs. So we developed this referral mechanism among our partners, capitalizing also their own specialty and giftedness, kumbaga. Pangatlo, we also cater to this assessment of substance abuse. No? So yung ang isang risk to ng mga those who are engaged in drug use ay etong mental illness. So ang center ng simbahan, lalong-lalo na ako po ay isang kamilyanong pare. Piyesta po namin ngayon, happy feast day po sa ating lahat. Yung mga magigiting nating mga nurses at mga doctors, feast day po ng ating patron ngayon. At meron din tayong elderly care consultation. Hindi lang to para sa mga estudyante, pero ito rin ay para sa mga teachers. So maraming tumawag noong quarantine na mga 40, 50s, even mga elders, because we have also our geriatric care, mental health care. Of course, sa simbahan, meron tayong pastoral care counseling at meron din tayong creation of safe space. No? At we are also giving continuing capacity building para sa mga group of tinatawag namin mga barefoot counselors. Ito yung mga community-based counselors. Pwede tayo magbigay niyan sa eskwelahan at pwede natin mapalaganap itong capacity building na to with our partners. And of course, napaka-importante in your own particular areas, kung ikaw ay nasa eskwelahan, we have also developed this SDNs, the Service Delivery Network. And that is very, very important. It is really working, no? Because kami po ay membro din ng SDN. Paminsan yung may mga ibang kaso, yung sinasabi ni Dr. Rosana kayo na suicidal, yung iba ay may substance abuse. You cannot cater to everyone's needs. So you need to develop itong network, and we have this network. And of course, we have this advocacy. Our advocacy here is really to develop itong community-based or parish-based healthcare program. Kaya ang pinapalaganap po namin in our pipeline sa Bishops' Conference that all parishes sana ay meron itong programang ito para sa kanilang mga nasasakupan. So talagang bababa ito until the barangay level. And I think that's also the mandate of our Mental Health Law 11039 na dapat hanggang barangay level meron talaga itong mental health services that is reachable, accessible, and available for our students and for everyone. And of course, yung last natin ay sana nagde-develop din po kami ngayon ng a more integrated mental health program for educators and program, in schools. This is what we are developing for the past months. Actually, nung bago pa dumating ang COVID-19, that's already part of our pipeline. And we have already developed, buti na lang nabigyan kami ng pagkakataon na ma-develop iyon. And we will be running this integrated program sa mga educators natin. Yun po muna. Thank you.
Salamat po, Father Dan. Naku na, very interesting, no? Kasi nabanggit niyo yung geriatric mental health care. Mamaya babalikan natin, meron tayong mga katanungan tungkol dyan. Marami pong salamat. And of course, si Kenny from Youth for Mental Health. Yes, Kenny, can you share with us yung mga programs ng inyong organization?
And so, hello, good afternoon, everyone. Ako po si Kenny Aranas, ang Vice Chairperson for Education Research sa Youth for Mental Health Coalition. And our organization is actually created in order to address youth mental health specifically by the youth for the youth. So kaya kami Youth for Mental Health Coalition kasi youth-led organization kami. Siyempre, meron po kami mga advisors na mga psychologists, psychiatrists, but the initiatives, the projects, the ideas all come from the youth sector. So we've been working with different agencies and organizations. We work with Roy a lot sa Mental Health PH. We partner up for a lot of different activities in order to address mental health at the youth level, specifically targeting schools, communities, and of course, yung mga young professionals natin in the workforce. So in recent times, we've just conducted our National Youth Congress, which was a big gathering of mental health advocates from across the Philippines in order to suggest comments and suggestions for the IRR of our A11036 or the Mental Health Act. We were one of the big youth advocacy groups that really pushed for the implementation and the passing of the Mental Health Act of 2017. So that's something that we're very proud of. In recent times also, we've been working in the pandemic. Because there is a pandemic right now, there are a lot of people across the Philippines and especially here in Metro Manila who are experiencing different mental health problems and who maybe do not have access to the services that are available. So we've had 3 very important projects: Project Lingap, Project Tulay, and Project Hilom. So basically, in Project Lingap, what we did was this was a funding donation drive for our frontliners, medical frontliners, and service users and patients for NCMH in Mandaluyong. Then we have Project Tulay, which is our bridging program for those service users who do not have access to medication. We act as the bridge. We try to help them find the medication and the services that they need in this time of pandemic. And of course, Project Hilom is our online social support group. So those are just 3 of the projects that we've been actually working for in this time of COVID-19. I know that there are a lot of other projects that we do. We are actually mostly on the ground. We go into the different communities throughout the Philippines. We have chapters from all Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. We partner with organizations. Again, we're more on the awareness and the spreading of mental health awareness and the inclusion of mental health literacy in curriculum and in the law, and to help create policies for workplace, for schools, and for the community in order to be more aware and to have greater mental health awareness. Ayun muna yung overview ng Youth for Mental Health Coalition.
Thank you, Kenny. Very interesting, no, is your advocacy and policy advocacy, no, para dun sa pagpasa ng Mental Health Act. So congratulations po sa inyong mga efforts. And of course, we would like to ask for Doc Rosana to share about the alliance that they have, the group that they have. Doc Rosana.
Please unmute me. Thank you.
Yes, there you go. Sige po. Can you share with us yung pong program ng Alliance of Filipino Families for Mental Health?
Okay, so Alliance of Filipino Families was created by the Department of, the video, I cannot open the video, and I start my video. Okay. The Alliance of Filipino Families was started by the Philippine General Hospital. Ito po ay tinatawag namin Bukas Puso at Isip. It serves as a family support group to help families take care of their chronic mentally ill family member at home. So what we do to prevent yung pasok-labas sa ospital dahil hindi alam ng pamilya kung paano aalagaan ang pasyente, we provided psychoeducational programs for our families. And we also gave them group therapy. In that way, the families learn from each other on how to support a family member suffering from depression, anxiety, and psychosis or schizophrenia or even bipolar disorder. Sometimes, ang nagiging stressor ng pasyente, yung mismong pamilya. So, hindi natin sila pwedeng sisihin dahil hindi nila alam kung anong nangyayari talaga sa pasyente. So, importante ho, matuto ang mga families on how to take care. You know, for us in the Alliance of Filipino Families, we believe always that family is the key to recovery from mental illness. And I share that with everybody. You know, if we help families, then we can help the family member become productive members in the community. So, you know, ang family support group, I'm proud to say, they were one of the advocates of the Philippine mental health law. No, when they were given educational programs, they felt empowered to talk about their personal experiences. So mas maganda ho na natutulungan ang pamilya. It's not only because the focus of then of psychiatry was the patient. The sad part is that we left the families outside the mental health service. But come to think of it, who is with the family 24/7? It's not the doctors, but it is the family member or caregiver. So yun lang po, no? This is the take home, this is the message that we want to bring home from the Alliance of Filipino Families for Mental Health. Thank you.
Salamat po, Doc Rosana. No? Again, the value of the families, no, in helping us to cope with this situation. So let me ask again our speakers, no, or whoever who could answer these questions. Ito po mga susunod. So, meron po bang ito pong nangyari yung ating COVID-19, no, situation. Ano po yung mga usual cases at common situations, mga fears and anxieties na i-share ng mga humihingi po ng tulong sa inyo? So you can please mention yung age po ba ng callers, may limit, or anong edad po ba yung usually tumatawag? And then, meron po bang mga tumatawag sa inyo or nagpapakonsulta mula sa education sector? So whoever can answer this, siguro po makapagbahagi po ng kanilang mga clients siguro po, yung usual cases. So, sige po, can you please popcorn na lang po. Yes,
I'll share.
Yes, Father Dan. Sige po, go ahead.
Magmula nung nag-lockdown nung March, we opened this parang hotline and then online counseling. And ang mga nare-receive namin na mga callers, nag-uumpisa yan sa text or messages. Then, can I call you? And then we'll be the one to call them on their specific time, kung kailan nila kailangan. Totoo yun. Ang karamihan ng mga tumatawag, number one, ay yung mga namatayan because of this COVID-19. So they're in a very deep level of grief and bereavement, no? Yung mga namatayan because of this very traumatic loss of a loved one. Second, may mga tumatawag din mga frontliners because of the stigma. Dr. Rosana was talking about the stigma a while ago sa mga frontliners natin. Third, may mga estudyante na tumatawag din sa amin dahil ito yung mga estudyante na ako ba ay makakapasok pa rin? Ito yung mga estudyante na lockdown kasama nila ang kanilang mga parents na frontliners. And ito yung mga estudyante na hindi na makakapasok because their parents lost their work, no, yung job po nila. So, ito yung mga bulk siguro at marami pang mga kaso. Ito yung mga bulk na tumatawag sa amin. Sometimes, Dr. Rosano was talking about normal depression, no, kanina. Yeah, maraming ganon, pero minsan nagtatagal eh. Tumawag na nung April hanggang ngayon, pag minsan tumatawag pa rin at nandun pa rin yung feeling na yon. Yung age group, the youngest based on our list, the youngest na tumatawag sa amin ay 14 years old. No? 14. At yung pinaka may edad naman ay 72, no? 72 years old. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Dan. Sige po, sino pa po yung pwedeng magbahagi po? No?
Ate Shai, siguro share ko lang.
Yes, go ahead.
Sa mental PH, although we're doing mostly information dissemination, hindi na avoid na sometimes may mag-email sa amin or magme-message privately seeking for professional help. And yung mga na-observe po namin na mga questions or queries talaga ay mostly on the difficulty in the access to mental health services and also medication. Kasi nga ngayon, may limitations na tayo sa paglabas, sa pagpupunta ng mga clinics or yung mga regular check-ups ng mga service users natin. Hindi na nila nagagawa yon for the past few months physically. So may challenge ngayon sa transitioning sa online. Tapos yung iba, hindi rin ganun ka-stable yung kanilang connection to do telemedicine and telepsychiatry. So nung nag-start yung pandemic, yung una nilang tinatanong is sino-sino yung mga organizations na nakakapag-offer ng online mental health care services. So what we did is we tried to collate a directory of different mental health facilities na meron ng capability for telecounseling, telepsychology, or telepsychiatry. You can check the website ncmh-is.com/directory. Meron po tayo dong curated list of mental health facilities na nag-offer. And then second is yung sa medication. Naging challenge din nung start talaga, since biglaan na nagka-lockdown, hindi pa sila nakapag-stash ng kanilang medications. So naging challenge din yun. But thankfully lang din during that time, meron na ring parang initiative yung mga drugstores to do parang remote na pwede ka mag-order online and then for pick-up or for delivery sa mga areas nyo. So yun yung mga common namin na nare-receive sa aming pages po.
Thank you for sharing, Roy. Sige po, pumapasok na po yung mga questions. So siguro, if there's anybody from our speakers, kung may maibabahagi po si Kenny and Doc Rosana regarding that question.
Go ahead, Kenny.
Ano po ulit yung tanong? Or yun pa rin po?
Yung sinagot ni Father Dan at saka ni Roy about...
yun. So,
yes.
Dun sa Youth for Mental Health Coalition side, sa amin, more or less, same yung mga concerns. Katulad ng sinabi nila Roy, nila Father, na there are a lot of students and other young people especially who are feeling a bit lost, a bit anxious about the future. Ako bilang isang guro, I have a lot of students also who have this difficult time thinking about their future right now dahil sa nangyari na COVID-19 pandemic. There are a number of people who have been messaging our page who are students who may or may not continue on with their education for the upcoming semester dahil unsure sila kung makakapasok pa rin ba sila. Like yung mga estudyante ko ngayon sa senior high school, graduate ba kami? Graduate ba talaga kami? Dahil wala na talagang graduation ceremony. Some schools and organizations, universities have done virtual ceremonies, as you may have seen. Pero syempre, there's still a different feeling that, when you go up the stage, shake the hand, etc., etc. That's just one that I would like to highlight. One of the problems that personally I have been seeing. Another one would be, syempre, katulad ng sinabi ni Roy, there was a challenge when it comes to service users accessing medication. And I know that the different drugstores and agencies really tried their best to stretch the boundaries. They really tried to allow people in different areas to have access to these medications. However, syempre, we cannot deny that monthly regimens of medications are quite expensive. And so there are a lot of people who do not have access to the cheaper medications that they could get if they were able to, let's say, go to NCMH, for example. So that was a problem that we tried to alleviate through one of our projects. We are coordinating with the National Center for Mental Health in trying to help with getting medications for different service users. And another one, syempre, would be the lack of communication and face-to-face interaction. So because of the pandemic, there were a lot of people who suddenly had to cancel a lot of plans. And a lot of people who messaged us, they have this they also have this anxiety or this fear that maybe they will not be able to see their friends for a very long time. Di sila makakalabas, kahit naka-GCQ na tayo, kahit makakalabas na tayo ngayon, there's still the limitation. You're still a bit fearful about everything else that's going on in your environment. Kaya it would be better for us to stay at home and converse over virtual platforms kahit gustong-gusto natin lumabas. Kaya we try to help people in processing these feelings, dealing with the emotions of being isolated, the fearful anxiety of the future, and of course we're all waiting, for the one big vaccine to appear somewhere in the world. We're all waiting for that miracle in healthcare. that everyone is really waiting for. Kaya lahat naman tayo on edge, and that's just one of the things that people are telling us and commenting on our page and messaging us about.
Okay, thank you, Kenny. That's true, no? Everybody's on edge, pero it's a matter of how we really deal with it. So, kanina sa presentation naman ni Doc Rosana, makikita natin bits and pieces of our situations doon, ano? Tsaka sa mga binabahagi ng ating mga kasama ngayon, si Roy, si Father Dan, and also from you. So, we will proceed to our open forum, pero para po sa ating mga participants, yung links po na minimension ng ating mga speakers about their organizations or who to call, contact details, etc., they will be sent to you via email. And as we proceed to the open forum, wag po kayong aalis kasi we will be announcing winners after po na open forum. Malalaman natin yan kung anong klaseng mga winners po yan. Alright, so right now we will be asking questions, no, from our participants, no. So first, para po sa ating mga speakers, no, si Roy, Father Dan, Dr. Sana, and Kenny, meron po tayong isang question dito. Sige, yung first natin is, yun po bang kinakain natin, na-affect po ba yung mental health? So, what food can help one's mental health condition? Sige po, anybody may answer this question. Kenny, did you raise your hand? Sorry. Sige po, kahit sino po. Dr. Sana? May effect daw po ba yung food natin?
I believe a medical doctor would be more suited to answer this question.
Well, of course, I think the basic food pyramid has to be followed, no? Especially for children and adolescents. But I would say, and my mother had always advised us, food rich in iron supplements, no? These are green leafy vegetables because iron, that was one thing that I remembered from my mother because she was a nutritionist, no? By profession under was this FNRI. And one of the things na kailangan ng mga bata and adolescents, especially adolescent, is iron, okay? Iron supplements, and because it's a catalyst for many enzymatic reactions in the body, for growth, for metabolism, you know, even for the production of anemia in pregnant women, no? Production of red blood cells, because that's the primary cause of anemia, low red blood cells. And what do they give? Iron supplements. So para sa mga guro at sa para mga nanay, just make sure that you teach your children and adolescents to eat green leafy vegetables. And even also for cancer patients or those with for diabetes, it's good to take green leafy vegetables. Why? Because remember, your diabetic medications and also your other tends to thin the blood, and that has also a bad effect. No, it's a balance. So what do they give you? Green leafy vegetables because it's high in vitamin K. Okay. And then for for those with anemia, what do they give you? Again, iron supplements. So I advise that, and with all if you eat the proper diet, I mean everything is in your diet, no, whether it's vitamin B, vitamin C, then you will build definitely resistance from COVID. Okay, so that's my advice.
Thank you, Doc. Kanina minention ni Doc yung yung kailangan nating i-maintain yung ating gut health, no? So mga probiotics na mention din ni Doc kanina.
Yes.
Sige po, salamat po. So eat healthy, yun lang po yung ating tip dyan. And then another question po, how can I help my co-teacher showing mental health problem without telling them that they have the problem? So sino po kaya yung pwedeng makapagbahagi rito? That's from a question from our Q&A box. How can I help my co-teacher showing mental health problem without telling them that they have the problem?
Yeah, better you.
Sige, si Kenny may answer this one.
Hi, so bilang isang guro, there are some times where I do notice that, you know, to answer the question specifically, there are people who may show some signs of a mental health problem. However, ang turo sa amin sa psychology is we should not overdiagnose things, and you cannot jump to conclusions based on a few behaviors that you see based on your co-teacher. However, the simple act of reaching out to them, asking how they are doing, if there's anything that's bothering them, that may already be a way for you to ask them indirectly how they are doing if there is a problem. Kasi we don't want to directly say, "Oy, co-teacher, si ma'am or sir, parang may problema ka ngayon. May nangyayari ba sa buhay mo ngayon?" It's too direct sometimes. So we really need to establish rapport, have that good relationship. Although we're trying to be professional, there's nothing wrong with asking, how they are doing. Telling them that nandito lang ako if you need someone to talk to. Sometimes even not only for teachers but also for students, that can also be something to think about. Sometimes people just want someone to listen to them, diba? Of course, if there's something big happening in the life of the person, tapos very evident yung change in behavior nila, that is something that needs to be observed. However, I don't recommend that you butt into their life, kasi kung family affair siya, syempre, dapat hindi ka nakikialam sa family affairs ng ibang tao. Okay?
Okay. Yes, thank you so much, Kenny. Yung iba po, how about the others? Yes, Doc.
Okay, the first thing you have to do is to assure the teacher that you really care for them. Okay, if she knows that you are there to listen to her and you really want to help her, then she will start to open up to you and eventually start to listen to you. And then ask her, what can I do to help you? Ask if, and then later on, maybe offer the available support that they have. For example, usually they don't send them right away to a psychiatrist because nobody wants to see us, no? But you can offer, there's counseling services, no? There's the guidance counseling without labeling, as very important, without labeling. And the last one, make sure to maintain privacy and confidentiality, because that's the most important, that's very important for the person, that there is that, to maintain that privacy and confidentiality, and she will respond if she knows that she can trust you and that you are there to help her. So their friendship goals are very important.
Yes, that's true. Mahalaga yung confidential kapag ikinwento sa inyo, no? Okay, so our last question, are there any online resources for depression and anxiety that you can recommend for teachers? No, this is very specific na hinahanap nila for teachers either to help themselves or for their students. So sino po kaya yung meron pong maibabahagi? Specific po yung question ng ating participant.
Hello?
Yes, Father Dan.
Hello,
Go ahead
Che.
po. Yes,
We
po.
can, maybe through AKAP Guro, maybe we can share some of our resources also. We can share some of the modules and articles that some of our Catholic schools and even our partners have published. So this is for free. So we will be sending them to you.
Okay, yes. So isasama po natin yan sa email na ipapadala natin sa ating mga participants. Thank you, Father Dan. Alright, so I guess yun lang po yung ating mga questions ngayon. So meron pa po ba kayong mga huling mga salita or mga words para sa ating mga participants, for our speakers? Sige po. Kasi okay. Kung...
Alright, sige. I'll start na lang po siguro, Ate She.
Sige, Roy. Very quick.
Final note na lang po siguro. Since I know yung COVID na to, hindi lahat in-expect to. Wala sa atin yung nag-expect na to. So, sobrang biglaan. So, yung reactions natin can be very different. Yung iba, pwede nakapag-cope agad. Yung iba, sobrang na-challenge, sobrang hindi. But we all cope differently. So please recognize that and just understand na with this new normal or new na crisis, pwede iba-iba yung ating pinagdaanan, and it's normal, it's valid. It's valid to feel It's valid to feel fear, to be very worried about everything, to be challenged at this point. So please be kind to yourself. Practice self-care as much as possible. We need a lot of self-care, especially this COVID is not a simple sprint na matatapos agad. This will be a marathon. So we need to regulate and pace ourselves very, very carefully. Do self-care a lot, mas often ngayon kasi it will be a marathon. Nakapagod to, pero matatapos din to eventually. And always recognize and know na at the end of the day or kahit saan ka man ngayon, there is always help. You can always access our Facebook pages, these organizations, these professionals, or even our government na mga numbers and hotlines na pwedeng tumulong sa inyo. Hindi ka nag-iisa, maraming taong pwede at gustong tumulong sa iyo sa oras na ito.
Salamat, Roy, at magkasama tayo sa marathon na ito. Father Dan?
Thank you. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you sa mga nanood po dito sa AKAP Guro. Maybe yung last ko, I like to really call everyone collectively. Kasi ang issue ng mental health ay parang nakakalimutan. No? Maganda nga ito, nagkaroon tayo ng ganitong usapin. Pero magandang ito yung panahon na bigyan ng taginting, liwanag at pagpapahalaga yung usapin ng mental health. Kasi sabi nga, pamilya, lipunan, yung bata, yung matanda, lahat apektado. Tumataas ang kaso ng depression, tumataas ang kaso ng suicide, tumataas ang kaso lalong-lalo na sa mga kabataan. At hindi lang sa kabataan, pati po sa ating mga teachers. Okay, mismo sa eskwelahan, yung nagbibigay ng pangangalaga, pati rin sila ay may mga daladalahin sa buhay. So mas maganda kung meron na po tayong mental health law at meron tayong mga champions na nandito sa ating usapin ngayon. Mas maganda, let's try really to bring forward itong commitment na to. Yung commitment na masasabi natin na ang commitment natin really is to increase the awareness and the value of mental health at all levels of the society. At kalampagin natin yung gobyerno, non-government organizations. Ang dami natin dito. Non-government organization, the schools, the youth, on this and to put priority on this issue on mental health and to increase the development also of mental health services. Okay? Baka kasi na-focus tayo so much. Oo, I appreciate yung COVID-19, we have to respond to it. But there are also other needs ng tao. At itong mental health na to ay isang pangangailangan. So, as services are given, we also collectively put ourselves together and develop this issue and put it as a priority. Together, we can renew our commitment in such important task because really, our brothers and sisters, they're in need, especially our youth. Okay? Maybe just to share for 30 minutes, I was giving a talk in one gym full of youth. And I was talking about mental health. All of a sudden, we were talking about suicide. And I asked them, honestly, who among you thought of committing suicide? And there was great silence. One by one, the youth are standing. And we were all shocked. And they were all crying. And you know what the other youth did? They hugged the person. They hugged each other. And I think that's what we need. Coming from the tagline of Unilab, malasakit, care, kindness. That's what we need for us to promulgate this issue on mental health. Thank you so much.
Salamat po, Father Dan. Truly, what we need right now is each other. Maraming salamat po sa inyong sharing. Okay, Kenny?
I think that everyone may have seen the news that mental health will be the next wave of challenges to face once we move forward in this pandemic. And so now more than ever, I call on the people who are watching, attending with us, yung mga guro, it is our job in order to be frontliners in education. We cannot deny that teachers are sometimes the second parents of many students. And in this time, sometimes we need as much support as we can in order to get through this situation. Filipinos are known to be very resilient. However, mental health issues can affect anyone and everyone. So it does not matter if you are young or old or anywhere in between, you can be an advocate for mental health. Whether you are coming from the field of psychology or medicine or even education, there is a place for mental health in all parts of society. And we call for your help in really taking up the mantle of being a mental health advocate. Now more than ever, we need people who will be strong with us in pushing forward for more comprehensive education, better policies, and more active community service and giving to those who cannot speak out for themselves.
Thank you very much, Kenny. Okay, and Doc Rosana?
Yeah, so I just like to summarize the talk I given earlier for the teachers, no? Just to have these take-home messages always with you, because the first person you need to take care of is yourself. So during this pandemic, take a more proactive approach, stay connected with family and friends. And if you need to seek help, then go to talk with family and friends. Focus on your health, remember healthy habits, healthy lifestyle, and learn to manage your own social media consumption. No? This is something that we all have a role to play. No? So during this time, once we have established a routine, then we are learning to dedicate ourselves to live that mindfulness. No? This is something I was not able to mention, but that mindfulness we purposely bring to our conscious awareness, our attention to all the experiences that we are going through, happening at the present moment. And this will improve progressively our overall psychological well-being, because as teachers, you can be creative and adaptive and resourceful in your response to this life situation that is happening now. Just to end, let's stay united with everyone. Of course, we have to subject ourselves to this quarantine since there is no vaccine yet, because it is called for. It is not only for our own good, but maybe an ultimate act of altruism and kindness, now that it's mentioned. Solely thinking not only of my safety, not only of the safety of my loved ones, but of the safety of everyone. In the words of Bob Kearney, he says, kindness is the most powerful, least costly, and most underrated agent for human change. And we can help each other just by doing so. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Doc Rosana. Napakaganda nung mga huling sinabi ni Doc Rosana about kindness. No? And of course, self-care is very, very important. Alright, palakpakan natin ang ating mga speakers. Maraming salamat ulit to Roy, Kenny, Father Dan, and Doc Rosana. And that wraps up our first webinar on mental health and psychosocial support, again made possible through the support of Medicam, the Mental Health Division of Unilab. But wait, there's more. Alam ko medyo mahaba na tayo, pero gaya po ng ating nakagawian, meron po tayong mga awardees para sa araw na ito. Kung makikita nyo po, meron po tayong 25 teachers na padadalhan ng premyo for being our first 25 early bird registrants sa ating Zoom account. Ayan po, nasa slide po ang mga nanalo. Tignan nyo po kung nariyan po ang inyong mga pangalan. At kung dati-rati, isa lang, no? Yung dati natin mga webinars, ngayon po, 3 eskwelahan na may highest number of registrants ang makakatanggap ng 5,000 worth of vitamins. Ayan po, most registrants on Zoom, Kaunlaran High School, Pedro Guevara Elementary School, and North Bay Boulevard Elementary School. Congratulations po sa inyong lahat. Okay, nariyan na po yung mga listahan, and there's more. Guys, meron pa 10 guro ang makakatanggap ng laptop stand, earphones, and gift packs from Celine and Nutriplex by Pediatrica, the Pediatric Division of Unilab. Ayan po, nag-randomized raffle na po kami based sa mga nag-register sa ating Zoom account. At ang mga nanalo po, ayan. Yan na po yung sa atin. Okay, hindi lamang dito sa Zoom, no? Kanina pinakita na sinama rin ng mga ating FB users and viewers. So yung unang 10 na nag-register sa ating Google Docs link, panalo din po. Nandun po pinakita yung mga pangalan. Ito po yung naging mode of registration for AKAP Guro na inilaan natin para mabigyan ng equal chance to win ang mga teachers na kasama natin via Facebook. So kayo din po ay makakatanggap ng gift packs from Unilab at ipapadala namin ang inyong mga premyo sa inyong eskwelahan. Meron din pong top 3 schools with most FB registrants ang makakatanggap ng prizes at mag-i-email po kami sa inyo kapag po generate namin kung sino po yung mga yon. Alright? So, yan po, yung 10 winners, gift pack from Celine Plus and Nutriplex by Pediatrica. Okay, may mga nanalo po sa mga nanalong sumusunod. Ayan, baka pwede nating ipakita. Okay. Pinakita na natin yung slide kanina. Pero wag po kayong mag-alala. We will also email you. At we will also draw 10 raffle winners from our attendees via Zoom brought to you by Pediatrica Celine and Nutriplex and you will be emailed after this webinar. Okay, napakadaming binibigyan ng premyo ng Unilab. Maraming salamat po sa inyo. Nag-enjoy po ba kayo mga kapwa guro? Sana po ay nag-enjoy ang bawat isa at marami tayong baon-baong natutunan ngayon. So, salamat pong muli sa ating mga guest speakers ngayong araw na ito at nais din naming pasalamatan ang ating kasamang mga interpreters, si Mr. John Zandre Baliza and Ms. Joy Villarreal from the Filipino Sign Language Access Team for COVID-19 Group at ganun din ang mga teachers at students ng School of Deaf Education and Applied Studies ng De La Salle College of St. Benilde. Salamat pong muli sa Now You Know FB page na kasama natin sa pagpapaabot ng webinar na ito sa kanilang mga followers. Antabayanan po ninyo ang aming susunod na mga announcements para naman po sa ating post-webinar consultations kung saan tayo ay muling mag-uusap tungkol naman sa inyong mga paghahanda sa eskwelahan upang ito ay mas maging safe sa pagbubukas ng klase. Hanggang sa muli, ako po si She ng PETA. On behalf of AKAP Guro Connected, we wish everyone the best of health. See you in our next webinar. God bless everybody!
Sa panahon ngayon, ano ang alagang Pilipino? Ito ay alagang hindi makasarili. Alagang laging gumagawa ng paraan. Alagang nagkakaisa para sa bawat isa. Alagang handa sa anumang hamon. Alagang ramdam kahit saan ka man. Alagang maaasahan. Alagang nagbibigay ng solusyon at mga ngiti. Alagang busog sa pagmamahal.